Just, sir, we have to just wait for 1 more minute. I'm really very sorry for the technical glitch. So let me start again. Good afternoon to everyone present here. It gives me immense pleasure and joy to welcome on the day 4 of Faculty Development Program on Institutional Values, Vision and Leadership. I welcome our distinguished speaker of the day, Dr. Anil Kumar Goyal, Dr. Kiran Angra, Principal cum Assessment and Accreditation Ambassador Paramarsh, various principals of Menti colleges, my friends and colleagues of Menti colleges, NAC coordinator Mrs. Nishu Bansal, my special IQAC and NAC team, and other luminaries present here. I feel overjoyed and my gratitude goes to Dr. Angra for giving us this wonderful opportunity to organize such an important FDP under the Paramarsh scheme of UGC. Dr. Anil will throw more light on the topic research design, and I avail this opportunity to introduce Professor Anil Kumar Goyal to all of you. He is currently working as professor in Rukmani Devi Institute of Advanced Studies affiliated to GGSIP University of Delhi. He has more than 17 years of academic experiences and winner of Best Teacher Award for 3 years in row for academic session 17-18, 18-19 and 19-20. He has attended summer global program at Jack H. Brown College of Business and Public Administration, California. He is doctorate from Dr. B.R.A. University, Agra. He is also a UGC NET in Management and Commerce. He is an approved research guide in MIT University and Maharshi University for Information Technology, Lucknow. At present, he is guiding 4 research scholars. He is editor-in-chief of biannual refereed management journal of Rukmani Devi Institute of Advanced Studies. He is also on the editorial board of national and international journals. He has successfully organized conferences in the capacity of convener continuously for 3 years and edited conference proceedings with ISBN numbers. He has vast experience in financial economics, strategic financial management, financial accounting, cost accounting, management accounting, etc. He has 50 research papers to his credit, which are included in Scopus and ABDC listed journals and conferences of national and international repute to his credit. He is also an active participant in various workshop and faculty development programs. He has delivered sessions in refresher courses organized by UGC Human Resource Development Center, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching, Government of India, and regularly conducted guest lectures. Sir, we are very delighted to have you with us, and dais is now yours.
Thank you, Dr. Anuradha, for my introduction. And I would like to thank Professor Kiran Angara Madam also for providing.
Sir, kindly unmute.
Yeah. Okay. Am I audible? Thank you, Dr. Anuradha, for my introduction, and I would like to thank Dr. Kiran Angara Madam also for providing me the opportunity to interact with such galaxy of intellectuals in this FDP. I would like to try my level best for the topic given to me, research design. But my request to all participants is that we must be interactive during the discussion, during the FDP. So it should not be one way, it must be interactive FDP so that we can learn. Everyone can learn from this FDP. So,
sir, kindly unmute yourself.
I'm not muting. Who is muting me?
Sir, actually, we have to hard mute the participants. That's why I have done this. But when you said that it should be interactive, so I have to remove that option. That's why.
Okay. So the means the FDP must be interactive, and we should not wait towards end to ask or discuss something. Simultaneously, we must discuss so that the doubts and things must be clear at the same time. So with due permission, I would like to share the screen. I hope my screen is visible. Anyone can confirm, is it visible?
Not yet, sir.
Okay,
We are viewing it, but it is black.
maybe
Now
we
we
can
can.
wait for
Now it is visible, sir.
now. Okay. So we will discuss about research design today. So on behalf of organizers, I also welcome all participants to this FDP. So as my topic is research design, so first of all, I would like to know from any one of you, what is the meaning of research design, what we understand with research design? Anyone? May I have any response? Okay, no issue. So let's move ahead. Our research design as defined by Claire Saltich and others in 1962 in the book Research Methods in Social Sciences. A research design is the arrangement of conditions for collection and analysis of data in a manner that aims to combine relevance to the research purpose with economy in procedure. So there are certain words which I have underlined in this definition. There is a arrangement of conditions. Arrangement of conditions means each and every task which we will, conduct in the research, we have to arrange them in advance. How data will be collected, how data will be analyzed in a manner that aims to combine relevance so that our research must be relevant. Okay, some relevant information can be derived, some relevant inferences can be derived out of that research. Our purpose must be fulfilled. Research purpose must be fulfilled. And with the economy in procedure, when we talk about economy, so economy does not mean only in the sense of money, monetary economy, but economy in terms of efforts, economy in terms of time, economy in each and every term. So economy must be there in the procedure. It means minimum, with minimum efforts, minimum inputs, we can get maximum output. That's why we talk about research design. So if we see another, meaning or another wordings on research design, we can get more clarity. Research design is the conceptual structure within which research is conducted. For conducting research, we must frame a conceptual structure, conceptual framework. We must write everything, okay, in advance, within which research will be conducted. So outline of the research, it constitutes the blueprint for collection, measurement, and analysis of data. How the data will be collected, how the variables will be measured, and how the data collected will be analyzed. So all the things we must plan in advance. As such, the design includes an outline of what the researcher will do from writing the hypothesis and its operational implications. So it starts from writing the hypothesis, what is our hypothesis, and it will continue till the operational implications of our results. After getting the results, what will be the operational implications? to the final analysis of data. So till now, any question, any query, any doubt? May I have your response, yes or no? Any response? Anybody can respond.
Yes, sir. You can go ahead. It is clear to us.
Okay. Thank you, madam. Thank you. So let's see how it works, research design. So first of all, we must understand the research process. This flow chart I have taken from the book Research Methodology by C.R. Kothari. So research process flow chart. First of all, we have to define the research problem. We must define the problem on which we are doing research. If there is no problem, then there is no research. If we are not facing any problem, we will not do any research. If we are facing some problem, we must do certain research. For example, last year, 2020, we faced the situation of COVID-19, Corona. Then researcher started doing research on the solution of the problem. So problem was, there is a virus called COVID-19, coronavirus, and researchers are trying to define the problem, how it affects the body, human body. Problem has been identified, then they are trying to find out the solution of that problem. So if there is no problem, we will not do research. We must identify, we must define the problem. After defining the problem, we go to review of literature. That is not necessary in each and every case that we must go for review of literature, because if we are exploring something new, so no literature is available or very few literature may be available. So otherwise, in general case, general sense, after defining problem, we must review the literature, available literature. Whatever has been done in the earlier studies, we must see that. So review of literature consists of two parts. Some disturbance is there. Avisa, madam. Okay. So review of literature has two concepts: review concepts and theories. The available concepts, what are the concepts available, what are the theories available, we will review them. And second thing, review previous research findings. What are the findings in the earlier researches? We must review both the things. After reviewing the literature, we will formulate hypothesis. What is the hypothesis? How my hypothesis will work, and what are the things which we need to frame in the hypothesis. So after framing hypothesis, we must work on the research design, which also includes sampling design, how sample will be collected, how the data will be collected. Collection of data means execution of the research. Then we will analyze the data, we will test hypothesis if we have framed. Then we will interpret the data and we will write the report. So in this process, if we see research design, so that research design prepares, or we prepare the blueprint of our research in the research design, what data will be required, how data will be collected, how data will be analyzed, how data analysis will be interpreted, and how we will write the report. All these things are written in the blueprint of research design. So research design answers the following questions. There are certain questions to whom research design answers. The first question is, what is the study about? Means what we are trying to do, what problem is there, what we will try to identify in this research. So first question is, what is the study about? Why? Second question is, why is the study being made? Why are we doing study? What will be the benefit of this study? What we will identify, what we will find out after conducting this study, the reason behind conducting such study. Third one is, where will the study be carried out? Where means what will be the area where we will conduct the study? What will be the population from where we will select or collect the sample responses? So all the things related to area, related to demography, related to physical area, related to boundaries will be there. Where will the study be carried out? What type of data will be required? So there are various types of data, like data will be nominal, categorical, interval, or ratio. Which kind of data? What will be the source of data? Whether data is available in the secondary source or data will be collected from the respondents as primary data. So what type of data is required? Where can the required data be found? From where we can identify or collect the data. For example, we need to read newspapers. Should we go to the internet? Should we interview some person? Should we collect the data from general public? We must identify the respondent or the source of data from where we can collect the data. Next one is, what period of time will the study include? We are conducting the study for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year. What will be the period of study? So this must be predetermined. What will be the sample design? How we will collect the sample? How we will collect the data of sample? So research design will finalize it. What techniques of data collection will be used? Will we collect the data through questionnaire? Will the data be collected with the help of some other methods? So what will be the medium of data collection? How will data be analyzed? After the collection of data, how the data will be analyzed? What tools and techniques we apply to analyze the data? What if any software is required, or we will analyze manually, or we will analyze with the help of somebody else? So we have to pre-plan this answer also. Next one is, in what style will the report be prepared? So if you are doing a PhD, there will be a particular format of writing your results, your report. If you are trying to write a paper, there must be separate style, and sometimes it will depend on the journal in which you are trying to submit your paper. They may ask that separate specialization in writing the paper. If you are conducting any sponsored research, the specification or requirement of the sponsoring agency may also be different. So you must determine in advance what will be the style in which report will be written. So once you prepare the research design will automatically answer all the questions written here, all the 10 questions. So, and in other words, we can say, whenever you are preparing your research design, you must answer all these questions in advance. That will be the blueprint for your research. So am I clear, or any question till now?
Sir, it is clear to us.
Okay. So madam, you can keep me responding.
Sure, sir.
That's thank you. Next, why we need research design? What is the requirement? What is the need for research design? What if we do not prepare research design? What will happen? So let's see if we do not answer all these questions written in the previous slide, what will happen? Why we want to answer all these questions? So what is the need for research design? Research design is needed because it facilitates the smooth sailing of various research operations. So when we conduct research, if we do not have any plan, we will find problem in conducting our research. If we have research design, well-framed research design, this will guide us throughout the research. This will facilitate us in the smooth sailing, like in the sea, ship sails smoothly. In this way, we will sail smoothly throughout the research operations, thereby making research as efficient as possible. If we have plan, we will work according to our plan. We will sail smoothly. Then our research will be as efficient as possible. What does it mean by efficient? Efficient means yielding maximum information. So the research will yield maximum information out of the available data, out of the available resources, with minimum expenditure of efforts, time, and money. In the first definition, we were talking about the economy. So economy means the, as I earlier also explained, economy of efforts, economy of time, and economy of money. So with the help of minimum expenditure on efforts, time, money, we should get maximum information, maximum output. That research is known as efficient research. So if research is efficient, then we can say that we have done a good research. And when the research will be efficient? If we prepare a proper research design, which will guide us throughout the research, then it is possible. For example, just as for better economical and attractive construction of a house, we need a blueprint, or what is commonly called as map of the house. If we want to construct a building, and if we do not have a map, think what will happen. Today we will say that we are going to construct one room here. Maybe next day we may plan that here room will not be suitable. Convert this into the kitchen. Next day it may happen that, okay, we are going to build 3-story building. After 10 days, you think that why should we not construct this building 10-story? So what will happen? Your foundation is as per 3-story building. Now you are planning to construct 10-story building. What will happen? You will not be able to construct a good building, and your efforts, your time, and your money will be wasted. That's why we prepare a map, or we can say blueprint of the building before starting the construction work of the building. So that map is the research design for building. In the same way, we prepare the map for our outline, map or blueprint for our research also. So well thought out and prepared by an expert architect. Similarly, we need a research design or a plan in advance of data collection and analysis for our research project. So we need a plan, proper plan for data collection and analysis. So if we have plan, the plan will guide us. If plan will guide us, then we will be able to conduct a research which will be efficient, yielding maximum information with the help of minimum efforts. Okay. Now, come to the features of a good research design. So I'm discussing a good research design. What are the features? And these features are, applicable to a particular type of research design, and some of them may not be applicable to another kind of research design, which we will discuss later on. a good research design must be flexible. So whenever you think that there is a need of change, you can include that change in the design. Flexible doesn't mean that you will change the complete set of research design. You can modify, but you cannot change the complete research design. The research design must be appropriate. It must be appropriate to your research. Okay. If you need to collect primary data, research design must tell you that the data required will be primary in nature. Okay. If research design is saying something else and your objective is something else, then it may not be treated as appropriate research design. The research design must be efficient also. What does it mean by efficient? With minimum efforts, it must yield maximum output. It must be economical. Minimum efforts, minimum time, minimum money should be invested. Next one is it minimizes bias. The opinion, the thoughts of researcher must not be reflected in the research. It must be unbiased. Whatever we are thinking may be correct or may be incorrect, but research must not be influenced by the personal bias of the researcher. Next, maximizes the reliability of the data collected and analyzed. If our research is a good research, our research is based on good research design, it will maximizes the reliability of data. Data will be reliable, or we can say data must be reliable, and analysis will be reliable. So whatever we analyze, whatever data is available, and whatever analysis we include or conduct on the data, that must be reliable. A design may be quite suitable in one case. So there is no universal research design which can be suitable in any case. So a design may be quite suitable in one case, but may be found wanting in another reference or in respect or other in the context of some other research problem. May be suitable for one kind of research, may not be suitable for another kind of research. One single design cannot serve the purpose of all types of research problems. So as per the requirement of your own problem, you must conduct or you must of your research design. So am I clear? Can anybody
Yes, sir.
respond?
Very clear.
Should I move ahead?
Sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. So next one is some important concepts related to research design. There are certain concepts, certain, jargons related to research design. One is dependent and independent variable. So dependent variable is the variable which in our model, please underline the words, dependent variable is the variable which in our research deemed to be dependent. That is not universally dependent variable. That may be independent in any other research, but in our research, in my research, in your research, the variable which you have taken as dependent variable, that is known as dependent variable, and the variable will depend on some other variables known as independent variable. So independent variables, again, the variables which we have taken as independent in our study may or may not be taken as independent in another study. So it will be the specific variable in our to be dependent and independent variables. So universally you cannot say this variable will always be dependent and this variable will always be independent. It will depend on the equation, on the research problem, on the assumption, on the hypothesis, on the objective of your study, which you are conducting, that which variable will be dependent and which variable will be independent. And I would like to tell you one thing, whenever we frame our objective in itself will tell you the variable, its nature, which variable will be dependent and which variable will be independent. Objective itself will tell you how the variable be measured. Objective itself will tell you what kind of data you will be required to collect. Objective itself will tell you what kind of what kind of test you need to apply in your research. So framing of objective is very crucial task. Once we frame the objective very meticulously, very clearly, we need not to ask anybody what data I should collect, okay, which will be the dependent, independent variable, which test I need to apply. If we have framed the objective carefully, all the answers will come from our objective itself. So dependent and independent variables are clear. Next one is extraneous variable. What is extraneous variable? There are certain independent variables that are not related to the purpose of the study. We are not interested to measure those variables, but may affect the dependent variable. But those variables may affect our dependent variable. They are termed as extraneous variables. I would like to quote one example here. For example, there are various food supplements that claim that if you will consume this food supplement, the height of child will increase. Okay. The example, are you getting example? There are certain food supplements, they claim that if you consume this food supplement, the height of child will increase. Means if child will consume the food supplement, height will increase. Now tell me, the height is dependent on the food consumption. So food supplement or that protein powder or whatever it is independent variable and height is a dependent variable. Now tell me, is height depends only on that food supplement or some other factors? The FDP is not interactive. What I want to convey in advance, but I've conveyed, no one is responding. I'm discussing one example. If anyone can discuss with me, is height depends only on the food supplement? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
You are audible.
So, madam, either you are not getting what I mean to say, or everything is clear. I'm not.
Sir, I think most
Getting.
of the things are clear to us. Though the question you asked, the answer should be no.
No. So there are certain other things also there, like age. Age will also affect the height. So as the age of child will increase, the height will also increase up to a certain level.
Right.
The gender may also affect the height.
Right.
So these variables are extraneous variables which will affect my dependent variable, but I'm not interested in conducting the study on those variables. I am interested in conducting the study on the impact of food supplement on the height of child. So these variables which may affect our dependent variable, but I'm not interested in study of these variables. So these variables are known as extraneous variables. Next one is control variable. It means if the variables are extraneous variable available in my study that will affect my dependent variable, I must control the effect of those variables like age, like gender, like food or exercise conducted by the child, I should carve out the effect of those variables. Then I can say this particular increase in the height of a child is because of that food supplement. So I must control the effect of those variables. So that was my point to make you clear about certain. One is confounded relationship. What is confounded relationship? When dependent variable is not free from the influence of extraneous variables, then this relationship is known as confounded relationship. And in this case, we must control the impact of extraneous variables on my dependent variable. Okay, so let's move ahead. Now, next term is research hypothesis. So what is the research hypothesis? Research hypothesis is simply the assumption which we made before conducting the research. So in this case, we must create hypothesis very carefully. Sometimes if we get time, we will discuss research hypothesis separately, how to frame research hypothesis. Then research hypothesis may be experimental and non-experimental hypothesis, maybe testing hypothesis. Sometimes we want to experiment. Sometimes we want to experiment with the selected set of respondents. In that case, the hypothesis will be experimental. Sometimes we do not want to conduct any experiment. Then the hypothesis will be non-experimental. Sometimes we want to conduct some test on the respondent. Then this hypothesis will be testing research hypothesis. And the next one is experimental and control group. Suppose there are two groups. One group is one group of respondents to which we are introducing certain experiment. Another group on which we are not introducing any experiment. So the group on which we are introducing experiment is known as experimental group, and another group is known as control group. For example, there are 60 students in the class, and for 30 students, we are giving extra class. And other 30 students, we are not giving any extra class. The set to which we are giving extra class is known as experimental group. The group to which we are not giving any extra class is known as control group. And we are interested to know the effect of or impact of extra classes on the performance of experimental group. So we'll compare the performance of both groups after certain time period. So if the performance of the group to which we have given extra classes is better than that the group of non-experimental or control group to which we have not given any extra class, we will conclude that there is a significant impact of extra classes on the performance of the students. Next one is treatments. Sometimes what we do, we give some treatments. In medical sciences, whenever a new medicine is developed, what they do, they give treatment to selected person or group of persons, sometimes on animals, and they see the impact of treatment. What is the impact of treatment? If you can recall, in the case of coronavirus vaccine, we have seen there is a first trial, second trial, third trial. After these trials, the vaccine was made available to general public. So before that, they were testing, they were giving treatments of this vaccine to particular group and analyzing the impact, and they found the efficacy rate that is acceptable, then they made available. Experiments in sciences, we do experiments. We do experiment, fail, experiment, fail, experiment, fail. So this is known as experimental. design. Next one is experimental units. The unit to which we conduct experiment is known as experimental unit. The set of respondent, the set of our experimental, maybe person, maybe animal, maybe some machinery, maybe some object, is known as experimental unit. So if in social sciences we can recall the theory of Hawthorne, behavioral theory of Hawthorne, what they did, they did the experiment with the help of lights. If there is a proper light in the factory, will it affect the productivity of the labor? So they have done Hawthorne experiments, we know. So these are the terms which we have to define in our research design. Now, let's discuss what are the different kinds of research design. There are certain kinds of research designs. The first design is research design in case of exploratory research studies or formulative research design, research studies. So before going to the detail, we must understand the meaning of exploratory research studies. What is the meaning of exploratory research studies? Whenever we talk about exploratory research, means we are trying to find out something new. No one else has done this in the past. We want to explore something new. Literature is not available on the topic. No research or very few researches have been done on the particular topic. So we want to explore something new. We want to identify something new. We conduct exploratory researches. You must have heard about exploratory factor analysis, EFA. So in such cases, we apply EFA whenever we want to conduct exploratory research analysis, exploratory research studies, we apply exploratory factor analysis. And what is formative? There are scales like reflective scale and formative scale. So in both the cases, the research studies or research design will be number one, the survey of concerning literature. First of all, we will conduct the survey of the available literature. If sufficient literature is available, we will go for formative. Otherwise, we will go for exploratory research. We will do experience survey or structured interview. We will go to the experts. We will talk with them. We will try to find out something from their experiences. We can conduct structured interview, and with the help of that interview, we can identify something new. Third one is analysis of insight stimulating examples, unstructured interview. So if we want to find out insight stimulating, we will not tell the respondent what we are going to do, exactly what we are trying to find out, but we will try to discuss in unstructured manner. So there will be no structured manner. We will talk with them. We will try to identify something, and then we will identify, we will draw the inference which we want to draw. So in case of research design, that is exploratory or formative, these three methods we follow. In case of descriptive and diagnostic research studies, what will be the research design? The design in such studies must be rigid. As I told you earlier, the characteristics of a good research design, and I told you some of them may not be applicable to particular research design. So it must be rigid, not flexible, and must focus attention to the following. Point number A, formulating the objective of study. We must formulate the objective of study, what the study is about and why is it being made. Objective will answer both the questions. Next one, designing the methods of data collection. What techniques of gathering data will be adopted? Selecting the sample, how much material will be needed? Material means the set of sample, number of respondents. Collecting the data, where can the required data be found? And with what time period should the data be related? We collect the data for past 10 years, past 20 years, past 30 years, past 2 years. So this will be answered here. Processing and analyzing the data. After collecting the data, how we will process and how we will analyze the data and how we will write the report, how we will report the findings. So all these answers must be given and in a well-planned manner. In this case, the research design must be more formal and predefined. Okay, so this is the comparison of exploratory or formative versus descriptive and diagnostic. So overall research design, in the case of exploratory, flexible design. Design must be flexible. Design must provide opportunity for considering different aspects of the problem. So different aspects of the problem must be considered, and we can collect the data in unstructured way also. In the case of descriptive and diagnostic, research design must make enough provision for protecting against bias. Biasness should not be there, and must maximize reliability. Reliability must be maximized. So here design is rigid, here design is flexible. Sampling design, in the case of exploratory, non-probability sampling design, may be purposive, may be judgmental. In the case of descriptive, probability sampling design will work, random sampling will work, we will collect the sample randomly. Statistical design, no pre-planned design for analysis. In this case, we will not pre-plan any design. In this case of descriptive and diagnostic, the research or statistical design must be pre-planned for analysis of data. Observational design, here unstructured instrument for collecting data, here structured or well thought out instrument for data collection. Next one is operational design. So in the case of exploratory, no fixed decision about operational procedure. No fixed decision, but in the case of descriptive, advanced decision about operational procedure. What will be the operational procedure? In the case of descriptive, we must find out in advance. Okay, so third point is research design in case of hypothesis testing. If we are trying to test hypothesis, what will be the research design? So research design in case of hypothesis testing, research studies generally known as experimental studies. So in this case, the research studies are generally known as experimental studies, and these studies are related with Professor R.A. Fisher. So Professor R.A. Fisher's name is associated with experimental design. So whenever we talk about experimental design, Professor R.A. Fisher is there. Why? Beginning of such designs was made by him when he was working at Rothamsted Experimental Station, Center for Agriculture Research in England. So he was working in Center for Agriculture Research in England, and he was working on agriculture. He developed experimental design, experimental studies, and whenever we are trying to test hypothesis, actually we are doing experimental studies. So Anuradha madam, am I clear till now or any doubt?
Yes, sir, it is clear to us.
Okay, thank you madam. So let's move ahead. Yeah. So Professor Fisher has enumerated 3 principles of experimental design. What are these 3 principles? The principle of replication. Replication means the experiment should be repeated more than once. Whenever you are talking about experimental research design, you are doing some experiments. Experiment must be repeated more than once. Why? If we are conducting experiment once, the results may be by chance. We cannot generalize them. We cannot say that if you conduct the experiment again, the result will be the same. If we are conducting only once, the results may be by chance. Is there any question to me?
You can continue.
Okay. So the principle of replication, the experiment should be repeated more than once. So I think it's clear. Next one is the principle of randomization. What does it mean? This principle indicates that we should design or plan the experiment in such a way that the variations caused by extraneous factor can all be combined under general heading of chance. It means if there are certain extraneous variables available in our study and their effect, their impact may be termed as because of chance. So if we are able to generalize them as by chance, then the principle of randomization will be applied. Next one is the principle of local control. Under it, the extraneous factor, the known source of variability in the results because of these extraneous variables is made to vary deliberately over a wide range as necessary, and this needs to be done in such a way that variability it causes can be measured and hence eliminated from the experimental error. So we must be able to measure the impact of these extraneous variable, and we must exclude, we must eliminate the effect of extraneous variable from our study so that our error must be minimized. For example, in the previous example, if we are interested to identify the impact of food supplement on the height of child, then we must identify the impact of age, gender, physical exercise, and so on the increase of the height of child. If we are able to measure the impact of those variables, then we can eliminate the effect of those things. We can control the impact of those variables. Then we will be able to identify the exact impact of food supplement on the height of child. So in this way, 3 principles we have discussed here. Now, I would like to discuss important experimental designs. Important experimental designs. So what are the experimental designs available with us? So there are broadly classified, 2 broadly classified categories are there. First one is informal experimental design, and second one is formal experimental design. Generally, we use informal experimental designs, but sometimes we need to use formal experimental designs as well. So in first category, there are three designs: before and after without control design. We will test before, we will test after, but without any control. Second one is after only with control. It means we will not measure without before control. We will measure the effect only after the treatment or after experiment. Third one is before and after with control design. Next one is formal experimental design. And we have four set of designs here: completely randomized design, known as CR design; randomized block design, known as RB design; Latin square design; and fractal design. So we'll discuss some of them. For example, the first one is before and after without control. Try to understand this. Before and after without control. See the diagram. Test area, level of phenomenon before treatment X. What is the level of, for example, level of satisfaction? Okay. Level of satisfaction of employees without treatment or before treatment. What is the level of satisfaction of employees? We have not given any treatment. We measure, we will collect the data of level of satisfaction of employees. Then we will introduce certain treatment to make satisfy. And after introduction of treatment, we will again collect the data of level of satisfaction of employees. So what we will conclude here, we will deduct the values of X from values of Y. And the difference will be because of treatment effect. Whatever treatment we have done, we will say that this impact or this effect or this difference is because of this particular treatment. For example, if employees are not satisfied and we have given them certain additional leave. After some time, we measured the level of satisfaction of the employees. Now the level of satisfaction of employees increased. Then we will say that this increase in the level of satisfaction of employees is because of the leaves which we have given to them. So whatever treatment you want to give, if you want to check the impact of that treatment, so this method will be applied before and after without control design. You will collect the data before treatment, you will introduce the treatment, and then you will collect the data after treatment, and the difference you will interpret the difference is because of that particular treatment. Difference may be positive, difference may be negative. Whatever is the difference, that difference is because of that treatment in this kind of research design. So any question? Any question?
Sir, there is no question in the chat box also.
Sorry?
Sir, there is no question, I think, in chat box also. I think you can continue question and
Okay.
we will take at the end of the session.
Okay. Madam, I can pause for 5 seconds only? Only
Yes,
for 5 seconds.
yes, sir, sure.
Okay. So we must come to the second type of research design in experimental research design. Second one is after only with control. So try to understand the difference between first and second. In this case, what happened? We have not collected the data before introduction of treatment. We simply introduce the treatment, but we have two groups. One group to whom we have given the treatment and another group to whom we have not given any treatment. And we are collecting the data of both the groups separately. And we want to see the difference between their performance. So that group to which we have given the treatment is known as experimental group, and the group to which we have not given any treatment is known as control group. For example, as I have given earlier, there are 60 students in the class. To a group of 30 students, we have given some extra classes. And to the other set of 30 students, we have not given any extra classes. So the group to which we have given extra classes is known as the experimental group, because we have given certain treatment to that group, and we will measure the level of phenomena, means performance, after treatment, after giving certain extra classes. And at the same time, we will measure the performance of the another group to which we have not given any extra class, and we will see the difference in the performance of Y minus Z. If Y is performing, the performance of the group to which we have given treatment, the group is performing better than the other group to which we have not given any treatment, it means the performance improvement in the performance is because of the extra classes. So this is the conclusion. It may be possible that the performance of experimental group is less than the performance of control group. So you may conclude that extra classes have negative impact on the performance of the students. So it will depend upon the result, what you are drawing. Is it negative or it is positive? But it will depend on the, the result, whatever you are getting. So second one, after only with control. So in this case, after only means before giving treatment, before introducing treatment, we are not collecting any data. Okay, let's move. This is before and after with control design. So in this case, what we will do, we will take two groups. One will be the treatment group or experimental group. Another will be the control group. So in the both cases, we will collect the data pre-treatment as well as post-treatment. For example, as I have given the example of food supplement given to the children, and we want to see the impact of food supplement on the height of the children. What we will do, we will make two groups of children. Let's say 10 students in one group, 10 students in the another group. Assuming that all other things are similar to the both groups of students, like their geographical area, like their food habits, their gender, their physical exercises, whatever. So what we will do, to the one group we will give food supplement known as experimental group, and to another group we will not give any food supplement. Other things will be similar to both the groups. After 1 year, we will measure the height of both the groups. So we will measure the mean height of experimental group and mean height of control group. And we will compare the height of experimental group with the height of same group before giving any treatment. So level of phenomena, yani level of height, yani mean height of the group before giving any treatment, and we have introduced treatment, food supplement. After giving food supplement for 1 year, we will measure the mean height of the same group. So the difference will be there. And the same exercise we will do with the control group. The only difference is that we have not given any treatment. We have not given any food supplement to this group. So we'll collect the data, mean height of the group at time 1, and we will collect the data of mean height at time t plus 1 after 1 year. So there will be increase in the height of this group also. There will be increase in the height of this group also. So what we will do, how we will calculate the impact of treatment? We will calculate in this way. Y minus x means the mean height of experimental group after treatment minus mean height of experimental group before treatment. So increase in the height of experimental group minus increase in the height of control group, Z minus A. So if there is a difference in this equation, then what we will conclude, this increase in the height, this difference in the height of experimental group is because of food supplement. Okay, so is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Now, fourth one, completely randomized design. Okay, second set, completely randomized design, or we know this as CR design. And in the previous designs, we generally use t-test. Okay, before and after control group, after only without control group, and before and after with control group. We generally use t-test, but in the case of completely randomized design, what we use one-way ANOVA. So two group simple randomized design. In this design, what we do, there is a set of population. Okay, population means the population of the data set which you are trying to collect. Population doesn't mean always the number of heads living in a country or in the world. Population means if you are collecting the data from the students of a college, the number of students of a college will be your population. If you are collecting the data from hospitals, the number of hospitals will be the population of your study. So population, and from this population, you will randomly select the sample. When we talk about randomly, means every unit of population has the equal probability to be selected in your study. So we will randomly select, and selected will be known as sample. You will introduce randomized assignment, means you will divide randomly, you will divide the sample into two groups. One will be the experimental group and one will be the control group. From the sample collected, you will divide randomly. You will not apply any specific treatment. For example, in a class of 60, randomly, you will go to the group 1, you will go to the group 2, like that. So there will be two groups. One will be experimental group and another will be control group. To the experimental group, you will give the treatment A. To the control group, you will give the treatment B. It means you are giving the treatment to both the groups. For example, to the set of 30 students, you are giving extra classes. To the another set of 30 students, you are giving some practical exercises to be solved at home. You are not conducting classes. So different treatments you are giving to both set of students, both set of respondents. And there will be, independent variables which will affect the performance of both the groups. And you will measure the difference between the performance of both the groups. It is known as completely randomized design, known as CR design also. Okay, next one is random replication design, in which we replicate how, let's see, this is population available for study. This is the population available to conduct treatments. Here we are conducting a study. Here we are conducting treatments. In this case of study, what we do, we will select sample randomly. In this case also, we will select samples randomly. After collecting the sample, we will study the sample. In this case also, we apply treatments to the sample. We will randomly assign the selected sample respondents to particular groups. For example, here we have divided the sample into 8 groups, group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. To 8 groups we have divided. We are giving treatment 1 or treatment A to 4 groups, A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4. At treatment B to another set of 4 groups, 5, 6, 7, 8. And first 4 groups are known as experimental group, and last 4 groups are known as, control groups. So in the previous design and this design, what is the difference? In the previous design, only 1 experimental group was there. In this case, 4 experimental groups are there. In the previous case, only 1 control group was there. In this case, 4 control groups are there. So as the name suggests, replication design. So what we are doing, we are replicating, means we are conducting the same treatment to more than 1 group, group 1, 2, 3, 4. We are replicating the things, and we want to identify the impact, whether the impact is same or impact will be different. So in this case, we are replicating the treatment A and treatment B, so that we can generalize the results of our study. Okay, so next one, randomized block design, RB design. And in this case, we analyze the data with the help of two-way ANOVA. What we do, suppose 4 different forms of a standardized test in statistics were given to each of 5 students. I'm repeating, suppose 4 different forms of standardized tests. There are 4 forms of standardized tests in statistics were given to each of 5 students. Selected 1 from each of 5 IQ blocks, and following are the scores which they obtain. For example, this is IQ level very low, and we have assigned student A. This is low IQ level, student B. Average IQ level, student C. High IQ level, student E. Very high IQ level, student E. And this is form 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 different forms we have given. And this is the score which they have scored, like 82, 90, 86, 90, 67, 68, 73, 77, 57, 54, 51, 60, 71, 70, 69, 65, 73, 81, 84, 71. So in this randomized block design, what we have done, we have randomly selected students from different IQ level, And we have randomly given the 4 forms of standardized test. And we want to check their performance. All things are, coming randomly, no planned, but randomly. We are conducting this design. So if each student separately randomized, the order in which he or she took the 4 tests by using random number or some similar device, we refer to the design of this experiment as a random design. The purpose of this randomization is to take care of such possible extraneous factor, say as fatigue, or perhaps the experiment experience gained from repeated taking test. So in the case randomized block design, this form 1, 2, 3, 4, these forms were given randomly, not a pre-planned manner. Like form first will be given first, form second will be given second. No. To each set of students, which in itself randomly selected from different level, IQ levels, we have given the forms randomly. Suppose student A is solving form 4 first, maybe student E is solving form A, form 1 first. So randomly we have given the forms. So this design is known as randomized block design. Okay. Now come to the next, Latin square design. So what is Latin square design? It is an experimental design very frequently used in agriculture research. The analysis of Latin square design is very similar to two-way ANOVA technique. Next one is factorial design. So in the case of factorial design are used in experiment where the effects of varying more than one factor are to be determined. They are especially important in several economic and social phenomena, where usually a large number of factors affect a particular problem. Factorial design can be of 2 types: simple factorial design and complex factorial design. We take them separately. So simple factorial design means, in case of simple factorial design, we consider the effects of varying 2 factors on dependent variable. But when an experiment is done with more than 2 factors, we use complex factorial design. Simple factorial design is also termed as a 2-factor design, whereas complex factorial design is known as multi-factor factorial design. Simple factorial design may either be a 2x2 simple factorial design, or it may be say 3x4 or 5x4, or like type of simple factorial design. We illustrate some simple factorial design as under. So try to understand this. We have collected the data. This is control intelligence control group. Level 1 means low, level 2 means high. We have given treatment A, we have given treatment B. So in the low level, the mean value is 15.5, level high mean value is 35.8, and column mean is 25.6. In the treatment B, in the case of low level, the mean value is 23.3. In the case of high level, it is 30.2. So the column mean is 26.7, and here is the row mean. So we can say the mean value of treatment B is higher in both in first case, but it is low in the second case. So we cannot say in this case that treatment B is always better. If intelligence is more, the level of intelligence is high, treatment B is not giving good results. While in the case of low intelligence, treatment B is giving better results in comparison to treatment A. In the same manner, we have collected study data 2. Here you will see the mean average 10.4, 30.6, 20.6, and 40.6. We can conclude that treatment B is always better. Either intelligence level is low or intelligence level is high. So in both the cases, it is better. So graphically, we can understand from here. Graphically, we can understand from here. In the first case, you can see if level of intelligence increases, treatment B is not giving the better result. While in the case of, second data set, it is giving better results. So I think it's clear. Hello.
Yes, sir, it is clear to us.
Okay.
And very elaborately you have touched each and every point of the research design. We are thankful
Madam,
to you.
with due permission, I have content on research hypothesis, which is very important to the study.
Yes, sir, you can show. Sure.
So if you permit me, I can continue with that.
Yes, sir, you can continue.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, madam. I'm just give me 1 minute. So that is very important to the studies. That's why, because we have discussed hypothesis also in our study. So within 15 to 20 minutes, I would like to discuss about hypothesis also. So whenever we frame hypothesis, there are 3 kinds of hypothesis: univariate, bivariate, and multivariate. Univariate hypothesis means the hypothesis which has only one variable. Okay. So simply we can put the t-test to that hypothesis, and t-test will be one sample t-test. Hypothesis may be bivariate, means 2 independent sample t-test we can apply. Hypothesis may be multivariate, then we can apply paired sample t-test. So in the first case, only one sample is there, means one variable is there. In bivariate, 2 samples are there, means 2 variables are there, and both are independent. And in multivariate, paired sample, before, after, maybe more than 2, at least 2, but maybe more than 2. So we must try to identify how to frame the hypothesis, where to use the word difference and where to use the word relationship. So I'm giving you certain examples. Before that, you must understand this is null hypothesis. X is equal to Y, means there is no significant difference in the mean value of X and Y. It means no difference. This is null hypothesis. And what will be alternative? Either X is less than Y or X is more than Y. This will be our alternative hypothesis. And third kind of hypothesis is also there. This is directional hypothesis. X leads to Y or Y leads to X. So we must be clear at the time of framing hypothesis, which kind of hypothesis we want to frame. Is my hypothesis is null or alternative, or my hypothesis is directional? So do not always say that null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. Hypothesis may be directional hypothesis also. So take some examples where to use difference and where to use relation when we frame the hypothesis. So for example, there is no significance relationship between marks and income. I have written this. There is no significant relationship between marks and income. Suppose high income of parents will affect the marks of a student. Is it true or false? So I want to check. So I will frame hypothesis like there is no significant relationship between marks and income. And in this case, this is my null hypothesis. And what will be the alternative hypothesis? There is a significant relationship between marks and income. And another hypothesis you see with the help of difference. In the first hypothesis, we have used relationship. In the second hypothesis, we are using difference. There is no significant difference between marks of boys and marks of girls. So my null hypothesis is there is no significant difference between the marks of boys and marks of girls of the same class. And we want to check. But we cannot write first hypothesis like there is no significant difference between marks and income. Okay, please try to understand. We cannot write the first null hypothesis with the help of difference. There is no significant difference between marks and income. We cannot write like that. So where to use significance and where to use relationship? Let's see. When both variables like marks and income are given, use relationship. When we have both variables, try to understand. Marks is a variable, income is another variable. We have both variables, then you must use relationship. When one variable like marks and the category of another variable is gender, and we have categories boys and girls. So variable is one only, that is gender, and we have two categories, boys and girls. So when one variable is given and categories of another variable is given, then we must use the word difference. Okay. The word difference can only be used when one independent variable is non-metric. Non-metric means categorical variable. So if independent variable is non-metric, then we must use the word difference. If both variables are metric variable, we must use the word relationship. Okay. Another rule, different things can be related. Marks and income, both are different. So we can identify the relationship between two different things like marks and income. But similar things, for example, marks of boys and marks of girls cannot be related. They may be differentiated. So if both variables are, different in nature, we can calculate the relationship. We can see the relationship. If both variables or category of one variable are similar, then we should try to identify any significant difference among them. In the case of difference, we use test to check whether two or more things are same or not. In the case of difference, for example, marks of boys and marks of girls, we want to check whether they are similar or they are different. We are interested. Like we apply p-test, chart-test, f-test. In the case of relationship, we use techniques like regression, correlation. For example, whether the income affects the marks of students. So we will calculate the regression or we will calculate the correlation. In the case of tests, the table value at 5%, I'm telling you the identification of results. how we should identify the results. In the case of tests, the table value 5%. 5% why we are taking, because we assume 95% level of confidence is the maximum permissible difference because of chance. Up to 5%, the value given in the table, we treat them as maximum permissible limit, and that is because of chance. If calculated value is less than the table value, it means no significant difference. In this case, p value will be more than 5% or 0.05. If calculated value is greater than table value, then there is a significant difference. It means p value is less than 0.05. It means 5%, less than 5%. So this is all about from my side. And I would like to thank once again Dr. Anuradha and Dr. Kiran Angara madam for providing me the opportunity. And I welcome questions. If you have any kind of question, please ask. Madam, open the forum for questions, and
Yes,
anybody
sir.
can ask
It is
questions.
open for everyone. I have not hard muted everyone. They can ask questions. They can put the questions either in chat box or they can ask directly to you. So I request
Please.
participants, if there is any question, you can ask to sir directly. Nehal ma'am, you want to ask some question? Nehal Khan, you want to ask some question?
मिनट लाऊं क्या और?
There is one question. Sir, the hypothesis mandatory in all experiments?
There is one question. Sir, his hypothesis is mandatory in all experiments. So this question is from Sulasa. Okay. So can you unmute, madam?
Sir, they can unmute themselves.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking Sulasa, madam.
To unmute.
If you can unmute.
They can, sir. They can. I cannot.
Yeah.
They can.
I'm asking to the participant itself.
Themselves.
Okay. So in case of experiment, what you want to check? As I told you, your objective in itself will determine what will be the dependent, what will the independent. Do you need any hypothesis, or you do not need any hypothesis, or what will be the data required, and what test will be required to conduct your study. So what is your objective? If you can specify your objective, or you can tell me your objective, I can tell you everything. What kind of data, what will be the variable, what kind of data you need, what kind of test you need to apply. So please, if possible, in case of experiment, if you want to apply experiment, your null hypothesis will be there is no impact of this experiment on the experimental group. So this will be your hypothesis, and after conducting the treatment and after collecting the data after treatment, you will be able to analyze the impact of that treatment on your particular set of respondents. So if I'm ask further questions. Oh, okay. One more question. Is it mandatory to establish normality of data? First, understand if your data is ordinal or nominal. You cannot check normality. In both kind of data, you cannot check normality. If your data is interval data, or you have collected data or interval scale or ratio scale, then only you must check for normality. If data is normal, then you must go for parametric test. If data is not normal, then you must go for non-parametric test.
मालूम नहीं बारिश चल रही थी क्या मतलब डबल
You
लाइन
can
तो है
write,
ना पूर्ण
Voice is not audible. Could you please put your
write in
best
chat
in
box.
क्या
chat
मालूम
box?
नहीं
Please
मालूम
write in
उधर
chat
नहीं
box.
Please write in
हाँ?
chat box.
Please write in chat box.
बजट है और
Please write in chat box. If you have any question, write in chat box. Anubhuti madam, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a nice session. Wonderful listening to you. And for formal vote of thanks, I invite Aanchal.
Thank you, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, you are
Yes, madam.
audible.
A very good evening to one and all. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this online national level FTP on institutional values, vision, and leadership organized by IQAC under the Paramarsh scheme of UGC for the Manti Institutes. On behalf of whole M.D.S.D family, I extend a hearty vote of thanks to our today's honorable speaker, Dr. Anil Kumar Goyal, who has spared his valuable time to grace the occasion. Sir, today we had the opportunity to hear your thought-provoking address on research design. Your session have enlightened our mind and have shown us a new path to formulate our research. I'm extremely thankful to our respected and beloved Principal Ma'am, Dr. Kiran Angra, Assessment and Accreditation Ambassador, Paramarsh. Her exemplary vision is the foundation of today's event. My sincere gratitude goes to our organizing team, Dr. Anuradha and Mrs. Nishu Bansal, for their hard work and dedication. A special thanks to all the participants whose sincere and active participation has made this program more successful. Thank you, everyone, and have a nice day ahead.
Thank
Madam,
you.
may I have 1 minute of yours?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, some of participants are asking, do your topics are available on YouTube? Definitely, they are available on YouTube. If you will search with the name Anil Kumar Goyal, you will find it out. And because I'm conducting 1 week FTP and it has started yesterday, so 5 to 7. Otherwise, I should have stressed this some more time, or we can stretch it up to 6 p.m. also. There is no problem. I have lot of content on research methods, and for any further assistance, if you want, you can note it down my mobile number and my email ID. You can write me anytime. Available. You can contact me with the mobile, and you can write me on email. My lectures on research methodology covering basics of research, regression, parametric, non-parametric, exploratory factor analysis. They are available on YouTube. For a specific kind of help or any study you are conducting, you can contact me anytime. I'm available there. So thank you once again, Dr. Anuradha madam and Aanchal madam and Dr. Kiran Angara madam, for providing me the opportunity to interact such intellectuals. Thank you very much.
Thank you
you,
so
sir.
much, sir, for your kind words and for your cooperation in near future also. And Anchal, please send feedback link in the chat box.
Yes, ma'am, I've already sent. I will send it again. Send it again.
The feedback link with
Hello. 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 Am I audible? Hello, am I audible? Am I audible? Anuradha madam? Achal madam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
Some network issue was there. You were saying something to me?
Sir, no, sir. I was not saying anything. Actually, Anuradha ma'am, she has left the meeting due to some technical glitches.
Okay.
She might be saying something to you.
So I'm waiting here
Okay, sir.
for
I'll
her
let-
to join.
Okay.
Or you can ask her telephonically and convey to me.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay.
Hello, Anchal ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question.